Hello again, and welcome back to another daily technical analysis video. Again, we'll be covering Ethereum in this video, and we're going to actually work our way from the daily time frame to the 4-hour and finally the hourly time frame. Now, in the macro time frame of things, we are again still bullish, right? If we just narrow down to the price action, we got our price action clearly uptrending, right? We got a low, a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and it continues upwards. We have a higher low here, and we're potentially on that push up for a higher high. Well, obviously, sorry, we are confirmed a higher high. So what we want to do is be careful for a potential decline for that another higher low to set in, right? And that will be a perfect time to start to add into our positions. Now, another thing that adds to this bullish layout is that we got these are our pivot points, right? I'll do a video on that one, but essentially these are our pivot points, and the median of it, in this case, the daily time frame pivots, right here and here, are starting to stack upwards, right? If you look at these past 2 weeks, it has went down, but as of now, it is going up within the next coming, the month, okay? Similar idea with the weeks. But if we go right into our EMAs, and we just look at the EMAs, right? We are going towards the 2 o'clock angle and expanding outwards, right? Now, the lower time frame, the slower moving averages are obviously below the higher moving averages, which is good. If we get this 55 yellow to cross above that 200 moving average, then we have exponential moving average, and we have a bullish lineup, right? We want it to look something like this. We got our blue, red, yellow, and then finally our white. It is getting close there. We just need this final cross here, and that will be a big light towards the upside, right? Whenever it's in that lineup, we can see the price action rise as well, right? Right, so as of right now, it could be doing that as well. Now, one thing we can note as well is that we are doing those bounces off the 10 moving average, which is a bullish sign as well, to suggest that we have strength to facilitate this move, right? Now, looking at the momentum though, we want to be a little bit careful and wary. Yes, the RSI is still trending up and in the bullish territory with that rising slope of that 50 moving average. We have to be careful of potential peaks and also divergences, right? If we just look at this right now, this one is a low, it rises to a high. This is a high, and it rises to a low. Now, we can't confirm this as a bearish divergence because there is no confirmed downward arch, right? We need that the two red candles to confirm this as a top, right? Even though here slightly, not entirely, it has to be red, but obviously a clear looking peak right here, right? Now, as of right now, we are still around this height, so this could easily break right up, right? So therefore, we don't know if this is actually a peak. Okay, so we have to pay attention to it, but it doesn't signify nothing just yet. Now, moving on to our stochastics, it is in the bullish, obviously the bullish territory with the overbought region. Now that means it's a bullish strength, but we want to be careful that potentially we are getting these peaks and therefore are topping to bring the stochastics back below that 80 level and into the other region. Now, this does not mean that this uptrend is over. What it means is that we need, not necessarily need, but it's it's preferred to see a consolidation or smaller retest or reset correction so that this stochastics can reset at a lower level and therefore provide more fuel towards the upside, right? For instance, if we were right here, we are strong and we did cross below for that reset, and now the price action was consolidating. And then because it came back down, it had more fuel to push back up, which we did inevitably have that rise towards the top, right? We eventually rose, but that was because it came down for a little bit of a reset before pushing back up. So that's something I want to be looking for as well. Maybe even a consolidation around this region before continuing to our targets that we were above, right? We still have the this triangle target that we broke up above, aiming for the 3,800, which we still have space to reach. Okay, so that's it for the daily. Now we're going to move on to the 4-hour and see what's going on. Right, we are steadily still rising. It is within this range for a little bit of time. Potentially we can find a pattern. But again, now we're going to bring up the idea of those pivot points as well, right? We're 3 consecutive rises, which is a bullish sign. It doesn't mean it has to continue, but as long as we maintain above this hourly pivot, then we do have bulls on our side. Okay, now if I just look at the EMAs, we see that we are obviously in that bullish lineup. It's been there since April 1st, right? And it's still going up, which adds more room to that bull rise. Now moving to the momentum on the other side though, we want to be careful that we are in that upper neutral territory, which is from the 60 to the 50. of the RSI, we are having that 50 moving average loom over this RSI. So that's one thing to be concerned about. And we are crossing down. But just because we're crossing down right now doesn't mean much in actuality because of the fact that there is no closures to confirm it. But we want to be careful that we are below it. If we do break above, then that obviously adds more fuel towards the upside. As for the stochastics, we are crossed down. We had crossed down the 80, had a small little dip, and potentially are consolidating. So this is a similar idea, right? It could be a consolidation here before breaking out, and therefore just a reset of that stochastics before turning back up and continuing up, right? We can see it's slightly converging, so we could potentially see a cross up here. But if we do maintain that level, the 50 region, if we're above that 50 level, then we still have strong bulls in action. Okay, now what I wanted to pull out is this Fibonacci channel that we have identified. Okay, we've had 1, 2, 3 hits at the top and one that kind of just broke through it and this potential front run of it. So that's the upper region of that channel. And we also have the bottom here, which is just that one bottom here. And I'm okay with that because we do have a little bit of break and retest of that resistance here. But I'm okay with that because the median has been respected, right? The 0.5 level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times that it has bounced off of there quite nicely, right? So what we want to pay attention to see is whether we get that rejection from the top level here. We still have room to even expand towards the upside before potentially coming down to the bottom. So our upper region target is this upper trend line and the hourly R1 as well for our upper region. Now, if we do break above that, we could see a retest of this upper trend line and therefore continuations up to the daily, the hourly R2, R3, and this R3 actually lines up with that target as well, right? This potential triangle lines up right at the R3. So that's a possibility as well. Now, when it comes to our downside plays, we want to pay attention to that hourly pivot. Hopefully it maintains it and therefore adds more to the bulls. But if not, we can see break and retest to the lower levels of these, the channel levels. Okay, so in between we have that hourly S1 as well and the bottom of this channel. Now, if we do break past this, obviously we get the other pivots to pay attention to. I really like this hourly S2 as a very strong region of support because it also lines up with this previous level that the price has stopped. So it confirms this level here. So we don't really want to be seeing any price action go below this. Otherwise, that would question the uptrend market on the daily. Now, bringing up the EMAs, we do see that 50 moving average, exponential moving average come up as a potential confluence with this median as well. So these are the targets we want to pay attention to. As of right now, seems like we're consolidating, so not really clear picture as to where we're going, right? We can potentially see maybe, or we'll look for topping patterns and potentially play towards the downside. But if not, what we're going to do is look into the hourly and see what's going on. Okay, so we have bullish momentum sloping upwards at the 2 o'clock of that 50 moving average with the RSI above it. We also got that rising stochastics. Okay, we got rising price action. It's a little choppy, but eventually it's essentially rising. As of right now, we also got that 1055 cross, the 10 moving average, exponential moving average, crossing above that 55 exponential moving average, EMA. So this could be a break of it, retest of it, and we can aim for those higher levels. That's a potential play, something on the lines of this, right? I put my stop loss below the 55 exponential moving average because it also lines up with that fib channel level, right? And obviously we can target the top of the channel or that R1. But that is if it happens to play, right? It potentially can just break down as well, which is also a possibility. Even though the EMAs, the price action, the momentum looks great, it's a possibility of breaking down, just like our 4-hour has been indicating. Okay, now one thing that is a little bit of a concerning factor is that we do have this horizontal bottom. Now it does at first glance look like a potential head and shoulders, the left shoulder, right ahead, and the right shoulder, but do keep in mind that that right shoulder has wicked up to the neck level, and that invalidates this pattern, as well as this topping head has the greatest volume, right? What we want to see is volume descending from left to right, but in this case we have not been doing that. So this is not a head and shoulders pattern. But one thing I do want to be concerned about is this is a potential diverging triangle. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 of this trend line upper that is expanding towards the upside with a flat bottom line here. So this could be a messy consolidation range to play and potentially a place that we want to pause and wait for a directive guide as to which way we want to be playing the plays at, right? So that's it for this. We have to watch our levels. As of right now, there's not really much of a play. We want to tread carefully. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm here to educate you on my opinions and what I see as a possibility for myself. And yeah, you do your own due diligence, do your own research. But with that being said, that's it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. And I will see you later. Cheers.